Lebanon could be thrown into another civil war. This is a warning coming from French President Emmanuel Macron ahead of his visit to Lebanon this week. The mass explosions in Beirut last month left 181 people dead and hundreds of thousands homeless. And now the parliament is set to discuss the appointment of a new prime minister on Monday after the entire government headed by Hassan Diab resigned following the blast. Dozens of people have been arrested as part of the investigation into the port explosions, but people in Lebanon are still demanding senior officials to claim responsibility for the accident. And with us for more on the story, we have Middle East analyst Paul Gadalla live from Washington, D.C. So, Paul, before we get into the politics here, what is currently happening on the ground? How are things looking in Beirut?
So, thank you for having me. And right now, things are looking really grim in Beirut. Beirut is under military rule for the next couple of weeks, meaning anybody who disturbs security will be tried in a military court and arrested. Yesterday, Hezbollah partisans burned protest tents. The UN is saying that half the population is looking at food shortages in the coming months. And there's also these, real estate vultures kind of hovering around the destroyed heritage buildings, trying to buy them up and redevelop the property. So the situation is looking pretty bad.
Now, Macron is set to meet with Fayrouz, a member of Lebanon's political leadership, during his visit this week. What exactly is Macron's game plan here?
Fayrouz is actually more like a legendary figure or pop singer, not much, and she doesn't do much in terms of politics. But Macron's strategy has always been very hands-on in trying to stabilize, certain fronts before they wind up on his doorstep. So he's trying to come in as, the U.S. is pulled out from the region, fill that vacuum, stabilize things in Lebanon before it turns into a conflict that could wind up at, his doorstep. Lebanon houses over 1 million refugees. Is very close to Cyprus, and I don't think he wants this on the EU's doorstep.
Right. Well, we've seen mass protests against the government, also Hezbollah, Hassan Nasrallah, and the leader of Hezbollah is now threatening to kill an Israeli soldier. Is this an attempt to divert attention from the chaos in Beirut right now to focus on its fight against Israel?
It definitely could. Hezbollah has a great knack for PR. It doesn't style itself like it's a political party. It's saying it's this resistance group that has had the divine victory over Israel. So any conflict will only embolden their supporters. And, especially at a time between the Israel and UAE peace deal that has left some Arabs disgruntled, it definitely could be a PR stunt.
Right. Well, President Ayoun is set to lead a parliamentary discussion tomorrow to find an interim prime minister. Which names are currently being discussed as possible candidates?
Yeah, so former Prime Minister Saad Hariri, who was ousted by protesters in October, his name has been floated around a lot. People are saying that he even has Macron support, he has Saudi support. Domestically, he doesn't really have that much support at all. Many factions have vetoed his name. Some people are saying it could be the former Interior Minister Ray Al-Hassan. And just lately, a Lebanese news channel, Al Jadid, which is the second most popular news channel in Lebanon, said it could be the advisor to ex-Prime Minister Najib Mikati. Najib Mikati was more aligned with the Syrian regime. So we'll see. They are expecting to announce the name tomorrow, as all the former prime ministers of Lebanon have basically formed a group to nominate a name. They will announce it tomorrow morning.